Hello and welcome. It is the 16th day of March 2020. My name is Eric and this is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like, that's within each's own risk and their own reward, and a capitulation day for sure. And there's a lot of markets to go over. We're going to look at silver, gold, the ratio. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, the Dow Jones Industrials, and I really don't think there's a need for much more. Maybe the currencies as well. And let's begin. First, silver, which is down for the day, that of 12.5% after it was down 6% and change, 6.75% on Friday. Before that, it was down 5.5% on Thursday and down 1% on the day before that, percent the day before that. And there was a 2% day before that. Price was like almost 19 here. Now we look at this on the monthly term time frame. It is broken down below all these levels. Thus, we are at levels from the breakout of the summer of 2009. Therefore, that would be levels of over 10 years on the downside. When we take a look at this, this is silvergoldbull.ca. And Canadian dollar prices. Right now, the Canadian dollar price is $18 per ounce, which means it's $5.24 for just random assorted silver coins. An American Random Eagle, $25.41. That would be $7.40 over spot. 740 into 18. Well, 180 is 10%. So every 180 is representing that. And 720 would represent 5. Or would be 50%. Yeah. So 18.9. So that would be 27 would represent 50%. So we're talking about like a 40-ish or so percent rate. I mean, way over spot. 10-ounce bar, 229. But what are the keys of buying if you are a buyer? Look at the difference of the math of buying 1 versus 20. As you can see in here that 20 is $22.30 an ounce, where 1 is $3.21 an ounce. Almost a dollar differential, or 90 cents approximately. So therefore, $22.30, that's a pretty good deal. How long these prices, and if they'll get much cheaper, I mean, time will tell, but this is a lot of stuff's going on. Oh, it says up here, due to unprecedented order volumes, please expecting a shipping delay of 20 plus business days. We appreciate your understanding. I have always gotten my silver within like 2 business days when I order to 3 from the time I place my order. If I place it early in the morning, it's 2. Late in the day, 3. Well, I mean, this is really getting unprecedented. But you know what, though, with this going on, this is to be expected as well. Also, for news, Mike Maloney does a tremendous job. Information that I find amazing. Yesterday, he put out 2 videos. One, because as he was uploading it, he was like, yep, they're going to probably drop rates to 0 or near 0. And, well, surely they did that at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And, well, the announcement for a live video coming out and then at that time was at that place. And a little after. And then here we have... I'm reading the comment section and someone's saying rates are 0, and then Mike Maloney puts a comment in stating, yeah, I'm going to do a video later, and this was that later video, 0. Proof the Federal Reserve has lost control. And, well, we need Janet Yellen back, man. We need Janet Yellen back to save the economy. And, well, I'm kidding, we don't, because that's really a dumb joke more than anything. But the shit's hit the fan. It's happening now. I've even heard just quickly that something about like Canada locking down in a few hours. It's 11 a.m. Eastern time, like 2 p.m. I mean, obviously, that wouldn't surprise me. This is going into a large, full panic bone mode. I looked at Amazon, not Amazon, on eBay on Saturday for the price of toilet paper. It got out of hand. Thankfully, it was available at Costco. At least one location in Ontario, Canada, Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, where it was there on Sunday. But it's crazy, crazy market. So here we have silver on the hourly time frame, just having its fall. It gapped up. This is the gap up price. As we can see, silver gapping up to 15. I thought it was going to be up to like 16, 17 because of the fact of people getting into silver. But it has been obviously one of those Getting out actions of volatility on this is tremendous. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're at $8 soon, or if we're back to $16 or $17 soon. And I'm fully expecting that this thing will be very much like what we've seen down here. You have your capitulation lows bottom, and then it's just going to escalate so much higher there after the fact. As far as gold is concerned, it's a $1,500 coin. No way is it near its lower levels. It has resisted this key Fibonacci level for 2 different months. On the weekly time frame, it has done it over a span of 3 different weeks. And now we've had support here on this one, but let's see, we get more clearly say on the daily chart. And on the daily chart, it was a 1-day hit, not sort of trying to test it over these couple days here on the 26th and 27th of February, but not quite. And then succeeding on this large 4% or 3.5% dump. And then from that of March the 5th, completing that on March the 11th, resisting this fact. And we can see here on the 10th, it went down. On the next day, it rallied up to this point and down to this level. Now we can see we had support here to some degree, because we know for sure that it went from here, and then most likely, and it did, of course, go up to this high. Let's take a look at this, say, on a hourly chart. We can see how this was support very well, and then it rallies up, and this is the gap higher. Gold gaps up, and then it supports this intraday. Again, it supports it very short term intraday here, and kerplunk. Now I'm looking at this level to be a possible level for resistance. We've had a nice little rally so far from this low, and if you take a look at this, say, on the 4-minute time frame, we can see again how it was just short-term support here at 5:40 in the morning, and then big move lower. And that move is 50 points from what was 1522. That's like 70 basis points. And that of about 4 or 5% just there alone. And then from this rally, we've already rallied over $50, and 15 is over 1%. So therefore over 3%, 3.5% or so, just from this low. And as far as all these gaps, and this is the Dow Jones, yeah, I'm not a big fan of them. And how you want to take advantage and try to, like, I know it's whatever gap there. I don't even really understand it too much. But okay, so the market, this is the 4-minute time frame. So in Friday's session, the market gapped down, had this failed breakout, but held this support all day long magnificently, and really held resistance all day magnificently until the final end. And it got up to and exceeded the intraday level. Of course, now we got significantly lower from where the support was, and that's where it is now on the intra move for the day. The market was as low as 20,003 change. Now it's 21.5 change. That's a difference of 1,200 points. That's over 5% just from low to here on the daily chart. Yeah, so these were the periods before and since. If we scroll back many days, it's well gotten by these lows, and well, it's the extreme volatility. We're still well below this 18 average of lows, exceedingly well below. It's almost a bloodbath situation. It's just the red candles aren't showing really how it should be. I'm not a fan of these, like, because when it comes down to these open and close gaps, like, who were the ones that were allowed to trade? Why can't I see where it's done on here? I'm just not a fan of stock markets for that very reason. On the monthly term time frame, it's gotten below the 18 average of lows. I guess we'll see the yearly time frame just because I know how to do it. Hey. Still above the 18 average of highs even, albeit barely. Let's now go on to the Trump chart. On the yearly time frame, this thing just started this year, so let's just go to the daily. This is the thing you can bet on the FTX exchange, I think, but almost everyone watching is not allowed to, including myself. If you're in Canada, US, and other countries of the nature, it says you can't bet on it. But you buy it like a stock. And it's always been my idea, well, why don't you just have a stock, anything to bet on that's going to be a winner, yes or no? You put the price out. If it wins, you get 1 unit. And that's exactly how it's done. So I'm seeing what I thought of years and years ago actually happen. If you can bet on it, the volatility on this is just magnificent. And really, for what it's worth, there's a big reason why I'm just referencing Mike Maloney's channel is because the stuff he talks about, he's much better than I am at doing it. Even though I could do an okay job at it, maybe. And I'm really good at charts. I'm really good at making charts. I'm really good at really gambling, for that matter. And I just see if you could put buy and sellers in here, this could be pretty darn near good. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'll show you what I've been doing. But that's on the Bitcoin side. And well, other than currencies, that's what I'm going to do next. We'll go to Bitcoin after that. So this is just a Trump chart. Gives you the chances that if have him winning. He's in a downtrend a little bit. I was just looking at this for the first time since he passed his COVID test, that it would have went up a little bit, because I heard the market said, everyone thought on the betting market, if there was such a thing, that he had it. But at least the report stated on the media says he's negative on it. On the Canadian side, of course, Trudeau, he is in isolation with his wife, I think, who does have it. This is the dollar index chart. So it's went up, down, up. I don't really have much more to say about this because this is a fiat currency against a bunch of other ones. Since I am in Canada, let's take a look at the Canadian dollar index against the US. And it's crashing. If there's going to be a 2 o'clock shutdown, this thing could go down much lower even still. As we could be maybe seeing levels of the 68 number come in, maybe within the intraday, and who knows later on how it's going to react there after the fact that 2002 lows come in at like 62 handle. But we are seeing even on this, as far as chart analysis is concerned, on this monthly time frame, we've had from this decline, this little move in here that 2 shots of it trying to break out, not successfully holding in here, thus making this low. And we can see that it's successfully resisting right now this move in here, because this move comes into the correctionary phase. And on a bearish level, success, as we can see it leaving on this, breaking down below this support. So now it looks to me as if, again, this level seems to be next in line. Now on to Bitcoin, and I'm going to start off within the Fibonacci of the highs from 20,000 and the barely over $3,000 lows, which had its run up to a 76.4% level. That's a very volatile move, considering it has obviously not succeeded its run. And from the last time it resisted this level at 98, which is a 61.8%. No support here at this level. And like I've said on this channel many times before, when you don't support an area, well, you usually going to have a fast move to the next one. And sure enough, that's the case. Markets pierce extra down here to 38. But what happened after the fact? Well, it rallied to get above it. So far, it has been holding and staying above it. You can say maybe better support has been around 5,100. But within the area right now, 48.41 has been playing out as that key point. Going down below there, that 3,000 level, of course, would be the next support. It's already been to 38. And when we take a look at this at a more longer term, via that of the monthly, well, after these lows, where we came from at the previous high of 2014? $1,000. Is that a possibility? Well, these markets are volatile. We're in extremely volatile times, and I'd have to say, yes, it is. So in a successful situation, if it does something like this, would it be a surprise if on the long-term time frame you end up getting something like that, and then you end up exceeding the highs from this point on here? With that being said, if the situation occurs in here where we go down to 1,000 area, then it's going to be one of two talks. And if it doesn't, well, obviously Bitcoin will have no choice but to be successful, since we'll, of course, never go there. And that's a must. Bitcoin to go to 1,000 before it goes to nothing, of course, which is what the anti-Bitcoin crowd will say, the tulip bubble phase, or reliving that in today's society at a much grander level, of course. But if it gets down to here, there'll be people saying, yep, it's over, get out, and it might be, and it might not be. And again, it's either going to be what I show here, or it's going to be continuation just like that. It's really, to me, no other way. And as I've stated so many times in previous videos about putting crypto private keys with funds in it in a safe, no, the amount of Bitcoin or whichever cryptocurrencies you have are going to be there in that amount of time, 5 years later, 10 years later. The internet will still be here. And the gold and silver. And of course, the paper rectangles of $20, $100 paper notes. And a lot of them. And, well, new series might be out, and I'm sure they'll still accept those series, probably for even 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Of course, 10 years later. And within that, that's which one will be the best hold? Like I said, gold and silver, I think, I'd be the most confident knowing that at least I know it's going to have its value. 10 years from now, currencies, Bitcoin, I don't know. But Bitcoin and some alts have the potential for spectacular movements along the way. I've also used reference, especially way back in the day, which was like a year or two ago more, about the Model T vehicle. It was the first one. People stopped driving that one because they got better. So with blockchain, Bitcoin was the first one. And then, of course, they get better for stuff created in like 2022, 2026, so on and so forth. Those things are also in play when we look at the example. Yeah, put it in the safe. You can't open it until 2030. Well, gold and silver is the only one that I want. Anyway, let's go on to now the shorter term time frame with Bitcoin on the daily chart. And what we can see here is there was a big down day, March the 12th, and then following through here on the 13th. And it's just now been going in this sideways manner on the hourly term. Look at this. There's just monster volatility. And for me, with what I'm seeing, I got to go through some of my trades because I'm going to explain how I've been trading this. As it would have started right in here. I think it was in this point where I ended up buying that of the bear fund. And then the market goes down, which meant I was winning. Then it goes back up, and then we have this little move in here, then this down move here, and we've had this up move as well. So let's take a look at what the bear looks like. And on the 1 hour time frame, what it meant for me was that I was buying, I think it was, well, March the 12th, and it would have been, I think I bought in here. So what the Bitcoin price was then, if it was 6,000, this just shows you how scary these charts are, the fact that it's already down to here. But the availability to be able to make amazing flips on this, and I've gotten amazing flips already, is tremendous, because here you have something that goes from 45 up to 90. And then you got the pullback here, rallying up there. If you're up and available for that time, and I was, then you're able to buy at 31 and sell at 53. This low here at 28, this high at 42. So we have 36 going to 24. So some buybacks. All the orders, you come in, and then 24s went up to 45. So I've had a decent amount of buy orders that came in here. Decent amount of sell orders, and the USD amount that you get, because you're trading bear against what I'm doing BUSD, they kind of do go up okay. And now I've taken some portions of that and I've put buy orders in for the bull fund. Although it's, and if this goes down more, what's going to happen is I'm going to not get that, because the bull fund will go up, and of course this is going down. So what's going to have to start to happen is my buy orders are going to re-execute again, because I had all of these sells come in. Then I'll put the buy orders in again down in here, and I'll just keep replacing the orders, because if for every 1 unit that I sell, I'm going to buy back that same unit again, and I'm just going to get free BUSD. And I'm looking at how much I'm making. It's like, oh, not bad. So I've taken those extra BUSDs and I put them in for buy orders for the bull. You do got to be careful with them, because you can see here 6,500 down to 580. So it is something that I put in very low stakes in for myself as a game to play around with. One that has so far been profiting me okay, but it's an interesting aspect because I could talk about how guaranteed my system is to be able to gain coins and tokens, which it is. But you have to, it doesn't guarantee you the value of this. Now within this, the key thing is lowering it's about lower highs, lower lows. So the base is on this, and this is where if you sell, say for example here, something you bought here, well, I want to rebuy it back here now. And then if I buy it here, I want to sell it at a lower high. So you continuously are always selling for, if a move like this happens from this point, and then you sell at whatever levels, that when it starts to roll over, you're not going to start buying here. No, you're not going to start buying until maybe down in here. That would be like one of the key things. But in a situation where if my buy orders that I put in for this were to hit, that means I have buy orders at the lower level. What would happen is I would have more bull or the bears that would have sell orders hits. I would also have this come in, and well, if this comes in for any type of mathematical rally, I'm just really something I'm just playing around with, but these are very volatile, definitely gambling kind of funds. You have to be very, very careful with those extra volatilities. You can see here, if you're just planning on hodling when it's 10,000, now you're down like over 90%. And the move, any just amazing move here that Bitcoin can have, I mean, it's got to go up to like, it might have to go up to 100,000 now or whatever just to get back to this point. Or even somewhere, maybe even 100,000 to get like 17,000. That's how sick these things do come into play. Now, as far as altcoins are concerned, we can see here Theta on the hourly time frame having a lot of difficulties right now within the 18 average. We can see on the daily chart from this high here on March the 7th that it has just been in a big downtrend, now going back down to these previous really historic lows that it had from before. Whether it'll go down and nicely into the triple figures, which would be like 7-ish hundred or so, within these conditions, it really wouldn't be a surprise. And of course, it's one of those spots where if it succeeds, then having this volatility, these moves, well, that's part of the game. And you kind of got to expect that if you're into it. After all, if not, you're in a game where you are playing big situations or events that are there that you're not familiar with. So you're not familiar with important entities of the game, if that's the case. And Tezos, it's having its volatility too, but that's part of this crypto game. Big volatility. You have to understand that's in play. How do you work with it? How do you adapt from it? How can you profit from it? All those different types of aspects. Find the strategies that work for you. And within Tezos, just a lot of this interesting choppy action, especially here on the 11th and this point in here. And opportunities to get some good flips here and there. And I have been able to make some decent ratio trades along the way with some of these coins. I mean, Bitcoin Cash and Theta, here's a market that, I mean, this is just for the month of March. Let's just, you get more of the days. Here we are. So it has a low of 2,300. It rallied up to 36, down to 25. Now it's at 31. So just from this low to the high, that's a differential of like 700 points. That's like 20+%. And that's just over like a period, a portion of the month. And this low noticeably higher than this, and this high noticeably lower than that. On the daily time frame for this, we can see that we've had some interesting big moves overall. 7,000 down to 600, up to 4,003, and yeah, it's how it goes. Maybe this breaks out. Bitcoin Cash does well. It goes to 68. If Theta goes to 700, it'd be a good chance that this would happen. But Tezos and Hadara Hashgraph has been one of the favorite movers overall. Those coins have just been moving. Right now, the ratio for that is 36.3, and it's just breaking down. It's capitulating, you could say, but when you look at the movements here, 23 up to 150, now making its way down to 36. Even before then, a low of 43, a high of 81. You just trade it back and forth. There's something to do. Yada, 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 basically, and let the market conditions do its thing for you. Short term, and yeah, there's no market. You can't just go out and say, yeah, I'm going to trade Teslas for H bar and there's a market for it. You got to make it yourself, creatively. So on Binance or Bittrex, you can do it on either site. There's a market for both of those against Bitcoin. And well, you can say, for example, you're selling one, say it's H bar you're selling, you sell H bar to Bitcoin. Okay, now you go over the Tezos market, you buy 100%. That's just assuming you should have a zero Bitcoin balance. If you have Bitcoin, maybe you have them in buy order so they're out of the way. So you have a zero balance before it's all said and done. You sell, say, H bar. Now you don't have a zero Bitcoin balance. You go buy Tezos, 100% of what you have, buy, done. Now you have the Tezos. You sell it in a buy order for a higher price, or put in a higher price, or you withdraw it off your wallet to your hardware wallet. All those things can come into play, but just a lot of good fun trading those coins. And as far as H bar is concerned, it's had a lot of fun, great volatility. Right now, you can say it's overextended, but at the same point, we've had this multiple resistance in here. It's holding and staying at this level. I mean, because of the market conditions, sure, this thing could crash with the entire market if it goes, but who knows how high this thing could go if we could test like 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, or what the capabilities are. I don't need to know. I'm just going to keep reacting to the situations as they come in. And right now, we are in extreme situations. They're going to have to pass because the whole contact of humans, just like, hey, you can't be touching and be with other humans. That's going to pass. That's not the way we are brought up as a species. And when and how bad it gets before the when happens, I don't know. It's best of luck to everybody and have yourself a great day and a great week. Bye-bye.